Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and I wanted to make a shorter video today. It's a little bit of a blast from the past. This article is from December 2nd, but it really coincides with one of the videos I wanted to make. There is a federal lawsuit filed by a former employee of the Carroll County Sheriff's Organization. Now, these are the people that were sort of tasked with the start of this investigation, and there have been allegations of shenanigans, if you will, all having to do with a political run. So let's stop futzing around and get going. Okay. Attorneys for Delphi murder suspect suggest political motive for client's sudden arrest after being known to the police since 2017. This is something that really doesn't make sense to me. Listen, as a paranoid true crime person, every single one of my male friends, I would have gotten them drunk. I would have made them say, go down the hill. I would have recorded it. I would have done unscientific throwing in my office analysis of each of them. I'm just saying. Y'all know Mo would have been there with like a little detective hat and just that kind of thing. Attorneys for the man charged in murdering two girls near Delphi, Indiana, suggest on Thursday that their client was arrested in part due to a political race for county sheriff in the jurisdiction where the crime happened. So, kind of a side note, but Carroll County is the county that the Delphi murders happened in, and Delphi is the county seat. So, if you're in the county, that would be where your courthouse is, your municipal buildings, all those kind of things. That was one of several assertions defense counsel Brad Rossi and Andrew J. Baldwin. I need we need some sciencing on this. If he's related to Alec Baldwin, he's out. Issued in a 3-page long press release that was distributed to Law and Crime on Thursday. I keep wanting to say Law and Cuck. Their client, Richard Rick Matthew Allen, 50, is charged with 2 counts of murders in the deaths of Abigail Abby Williams, 13, and her friend Libby German, 14. The girls vanished while walking on the Monon High Bridge Trail near Delphi, Indiana, on February 13th, 2017. The trail traverses an abandoned stretch of what was once the Monon Railroad and crosses an old trestle over a small creek or river. The girls were found dead on the next day in an area near the trestle. The press release issued by Baldwin and Rossi asserts that it was Allen who came forward to law enforcement in 2017 to reveal he was walking on the trestle that day as the girls vanished. The attorneys characterized Allen's decision to speak with the constabulary on his own volition as one of the several signs of his innocence. After Rick shared his information with law enforcement officials, he went back to his job at the local CVS and didn't hear from police for more than 5 years. So it's alleged that this tip or, investigation was lost. And we've seen this with other large cases. I mean, there was the Green River murder where they had so many tips involving, oh gosh, I want to say Robbie Benson, but I know that's the wrong name. And I should know this because I know all the serial killers. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't know all of the serial killers, but there have been many cases where, Ted Bundy was, you know, honestly put in several of the early, press releases, and they have people that called in and said, "Look, he is a little bit weird. He kind of matches, but his name is Ted Bundy." I don't know. Maybe it's wrong. I mean, we've had many cases where, with the volume of evidence, They sort of miss things, the Yorkshire Ripper in England, so it just seems a little sketch. They posited one theory as to why Allen was arrested when he was a federal lawsuit filed against the local sheriff department, which alleges problems with a major case. The next time Rick heard from the police was in October 2022. This was approximately 2 weeks before a contested sheriff's election and within days of a federal lawsuit filed against Carroll County Sheriff's Office by its former second in command, Michael Thomas. In the lawsuit, Thomas claims that he, Thomas, had made suggestions and offered assistance in the investigation of a high profile child homicide investigation. But those suggestions and offers were rejected by Sheriff Thomas, or by the sheriff, sorry. There's a period. Thomas further claims that the sheriff and others in the department feared the disagreements with Thomas would become publicized as a result of the political campaign for sheriff. Thomas claims in the suit that he was ultimately demoted and replaced by Tony Leggett. Looking through the document dump, Tony Leggett is on a lot of, so I hope it's legit. I don't know. Is on a lot of the documentation that is put forth from the sheriff's department, who later that year won the 2022 election for sheriff. Furthermore, Thomas claims he was also removed from high-profile cases. Rick was ultimately arrested on or about October 28, 2022. The federal lawsuit in question remains ongoing in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Indiana. It alleges various constitutional and civil rights complaints. It does not directly mention the Delphi murder case. The reference in the quote above is open to some interpretation, though presumably not many child murder cases happened, and I believe these are the only child murder cases. I'm going to be very honest with you. And I will go over the the federal court case, the lawsuit, but it's in real legalese, and but it does go to the point where he was made to feel uncomfortable in his job, allegedly, to the point where he was afraid that he was not going to get backup on calls. So, authorities have alleged that an unspent bullet they claim was likely ejected from Richard Allen's handgun was found near the girls' bodies, but the science used to make such comparisons is scientifically shaky. There has been a motion in limine to suppress ballistics uh, information. I will be making another video about that. I'm telling you guys, I have papers upon papers of the document dump and just a lot of things that are going on that, according to my inside source, uh, who has been practicing, the real legal law for years, she has never seen. I am so sorry. Mr. Mo was doing construction. We had a short golden period where it was going to be a beautiful day and we had quiet. It's not here anymore. They're back. A redacted copy of a probable cause affidavit released this week admits that comparison between bullet and Allen's gun is subjective in nature. Now, the document dump that I just got through kind of organizing does have the certified analysis in it. Again, look, every time I say ballistics, I can just hear Nicholas in the background, like the Ricola guy, going, junk science. So, Law and Crime noted this week that some courts have strictly limited the use of such comparisons because they do not meet the standard used in those jurisdictions to measure the reliability of scientific evidence or expert testimony. Allen's attorneys, surely aware of the issues at play given the available case law on the subject, said on Thursday that they anticipate A vigorous legal and factual challenge to any claims by the prosecution as to the reliability of its conclusions concerning the single magic bullet. The press release continues. In the 5+ years since Rick volunteered to provide information to the police, Rick did not get rid of his vehicle or his guns and did not throw out his clothing. He did not alter his appearance. He did not relocate himself to another community. He did what any normal or any innocent man would do and continued his normal routine. The defense then directly refuted several claims made by the state in court in a redacted probable cause affidavit. Now, this is the press release that the defense put out, I believe, December 1st. December 2nd, the state, the state requested a gag order, and the court was like, yeah, no, guys. So they uh, they may have ticked off the court just a little bit. Let's see. The prosecutor mentioned at the last hearing that his belief others might have been involved in the killing, yet there was no one mentioned in the probable cause affidavit about a second suspect. Yeah, this is, again, it seems like they are going at this ad hoc. And I have not deep dived into the documents. I have only organized them in a way that makes sense to me before I start, having to go through the legalese and figure out what every document actually means. I had to put it in both chronological order and page number, citations so I could figure out where everything was. So I haven't gone completely into everything, but a lot of this looks like the state is trying to not share things, and it's looking not so great. Again, for the bajillionth and 12th time, for the people that are new here, if this man is guilty, all the guilties, I want him in prison for the rest of his life, possibly roommating with Daryl Brooks, okay? Just, you know, I would just like the justice system to work the way we all, you know, figured the justice system worked. The justice system derives its power from us, and I will not co-sign an unjust system. I mean, now that my eyes are open and I realize some of the shenanigans the state can bring, I am definitely not okay with them using, working for me as a cosign to some of their behavior. The defense is confused by such discrepancies in the investigation and will be in a better position to respond as more discovery is received. Again, this guy's was in December, so uh, Rick Allen owned a Ford Focus in February 2017. His Ford Focus is not in any way similar to the distinctive look of a PT Cruiser or smart car as described by the witnesses. It seems that the CCSD is trying to bend facts to fit their narrative. And a lot of this goes into the discrepancies that we covered under, when I put a video out about the press release and then the gag order the next day. I believe the prosecutor was big mad. The probable cause affidavit suggests that a car described by witnesses as being parked near a building, a PT Cruiser in one of descriptions, or some type of smart car in another, is the same car Allen drove because those descriptions are similar in nature to a 2016 Ford Focus. According to the press release, the defendant isn't willing to make that, or the defense isn't willing to make that leap from one model to another. However, the defense also didn't acknowledge in its press release that Allen allegedly admitted to the authorities that he parked his car on the side of an old building. When he was walking the trail where the girls disappeared on that day, they vanished. Witnesses said they saw, that's saw, not say, the vehicle in question, whose precise description remains an apparent matter of debate, was parked in an odd manner at the old Child Protective Services building. Here, another potential discrepancy occurs. The affidavit says that Allen allegedly told the police he was parked near the Old Farm Bureau building. The affidavit also attempts to ameliorate that discrepancy. Investigators believe Mr. Allen was referring to the former Child Protective Services building, as there was not a Farm Bureau building in the area, nor had there ever been. Well, now, again, as only pre-law, I don't believe you can, like, just say, "Nah, what he really meant," but I will ask a real lawyer. Baldwin asserted that the probable cause affidavit was flimsy in previous statements to the press, but prosecutors retorted that they believe the case is very solid. Well, I'm sold now. Prosecutors, totally solid. The defense attorneys asserted on Thursday that they felt compelled to tell their client's side of the story after 5 years plus of press conferences by law enforcement authorities tasked with solving the murders. The judge is considering a gag order. Spoiler alert, she gave it. The press release notes. The defense attorneys also said the public has provided the defense with tips about the case and encouraged additional tipsters to come forward. The defense press release is available in its entirety. We've already gone through that. I have a video. I am trying to make the beautiful, lovely little playlists, but y'all, we are a work in progress. We really are. So that is all I have for you on this particular video. But I like that this article goes into the federal case without me having to kind of read it to you. And then we're all just confused about the legalese because Lord knows I am not a lawyer. I am, it is what? It is 8 a.m. on 4th of July. The fact that I don't have sparklers is, un-American to begin with. So I hope you guys have a great 4th of July. I hope you have fun, and keep all your fingers. Don't be that one kid because we all know him with the M80, and he only is like Johnny Three Fingers. Try to be good, try to be helpful. Don't get too drunk. Drink water, sunblock for, if you're a little clear like I am, sunblock. Tanning oil for you lucky people who can actually tan. And I will see you later, probably on a stream or something. And have a wonderful 4th of July. Bye, guys.